What's up, y'all? It's Real Talk with T, Real Athletes, Real Story. I got a very, very special guest with me today. I got Mondo, the one and only. So we're going to start off with some fun, cool questions, nothing too serious. It's called The Real You. Are you ready?
Sure, that's it.
Okay, so what is something that you're looking forward to in the next few years that's not track related?
I'm not paused right now because I don't know what I want to do or what I like to do. I think it's more just like thinking years in ahead is a little bit tough for me. But I don't know, not track related. I like to play golf. I like to play golf, so I would like to see where my golf game's at. I haven't been able to play as much as I would have liked to this year, but yeah, I would like to see where that's at. But I don't know, shit. Like I don't know. It's weird. I think like in my mid-20s, or I guess technically in my early 20s, I think that things are like they go so fast.
Yeah.
So I think it'll just be interesting to just see like what's different in your life, because in this thing anything can happen as far as like life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like life just can just be life, really. So like I think just like anything can happen. I think it's nice because things will be very different, and I don't even know how it's going to be different. It could be good, it could be bad, but whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. What are some, so you're a very chill guy, so what are some pet peeves that you have? Give us like two.
Pet peeves. I would say my biggest pet peeve is, I don't know. I was about to say planning, but I don't think that's really. I think I misinterpreted the definition of pet peeve just now. I think it's more like things I don't like to do myself.
Yeah.
Pet peeves, like other people, things that
Like people like smacking when they're eating, like little stuff. Like,
what would be a pet peeve of mine? I don't know. I don't even know if I'm that pet peevey of a guy.
really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing really like just aggravates you, like grinds your gears?
I don't know. I mean, I guess if somebody, if I need to get locked into somebody wants me to do something and it's like super far in advance.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like 3 months in advance. I need to lock in some date for some occasion of something. And then you're just like, but you have to say yes or no in that moment because it's like ish or no, whatever it may be. That's a pet peeve of mine.
Okay.
Because I hate when I'm locked into something and then something like more dope comes up.
And then
you're already locked into the other thing that's like
you have to do that.
kind of mid compared to like what this other thing is. But then now you already have to do it.
Yeah.
So like I would say that's probably what would irk me the most.
Pre-planning.
Yeah.
Too far in advance.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
So what do you think is your biggest misconception people have of you?
I don't really know what people think about me. So that's one really problem for that. But I mean, I think that people probably think that the way that I grew up was probably a lot different than it really was.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
When it came to like me pole vaulting, and I think that a lot of people, since I started at such a very young age, and my father was a pole vaulter, he built the setup in my backyard. I guess it's kind of natural to think that it was very much of like a structured and planned thing for me to be in the position that I'm in right now, but like in a way it like really wasn't.
Yeah.
Because it was very chill. Like even though having a whole pole vault set up in your backyard is not that chill, and it's like it's a pretty weird thing, it's pretty unusual. It genuinely was like having like a basketball net and like just like in the garage port.
Yeah.
Because it was just like something that we would just do and just like play with. My father just set it up, and I don't think he really even knew what was gonna happen, if we were gonna like really like it or whatnot. It wasn't like this thing where I was like this like, science rat, that it was like just try to start me at like the most very young age to see like how good I can be. And it kind of happened a little bit ish like that, in the sense of that I started very young and I jumped a lot, and I really got into it and obsessed with it. But it was very like, it was never really forced upon me in that way. It was more just like our whole backyard was this like crazy playground. We had like a baseball batting cage, like this rope, trampoline, like all this other kind of stuff.
Athletic.
Yeah, we just had all kind of stuff if we just wanted to do whatever. We even had a basketball rim, but I was not that good at that though. So no, it was. I think my childhood is a pretty big misconception.
Yeah.
I would say from what I think that people think about it.
I can see that. We're gonna get into that a little later. Okay, so have you ever been starstruck?
Starstruck.
If not, who is someone that you want to meet?
I would say we didn't meet because it was a little bit of a hectic situation, but I was in Monza for F1 race last year.
Okay.
And Zlatan Ibrahimovic, you know, the soccer player, he walked by.
What?
And I didn't really like comprehend the moment And then by the time we walked by, it was already like too late to like go, and I wasn't gonna like run after him or anything like that. But it was in the back. No, but I was just like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna like chase them, like tackle them, because everybody else was already chasing them in the first place. So then you kind of just had no shot in the beginning. But then, so that was, I would say that's a bit of a starstruck feeling.
Wow.
Because especially like I would say like in Sweden, he's pretty much like right next to like God level. I would say he's the biggest thing like to ever come out of Sweden ever.
Okay.
So hanging out in Sweden a lot, that I would say that's probably the I would say the most like starstruck. I think.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, so a little bit of track stuff. So indoor or outdoor, if you could choose.
It's like kind of both.
Both.
Kind of both. Like
Okay.
I like outdoor more in the sense of the vibe is better for outdoors, and like the competitions are they're a lot cooler.
Yeah.
And then naturally there are gonna be more people, and I think that like the like more like real track meets are outdoors, and all like the big meets are outdoors. But for pole vault, I do jump higher indoors.
I was gonna say that.
So like, so I do like, so in that way, indoors is also nice, but it's not the same. It's not the same vibe as outdoors, I would say, because the outdoor meets, it feels like that's more of like the real season in a way, and I think that's where everybody wants to have their best performances, especially since a lot of events they don't even like really do indoors.
Yeah.
Short track, whatever they call it now.
Short track.
I don't know. That's I guess a little bit strange, but no, for me it's like outdoors is cooler. Ideally, it could be better in the sense of like if the conditions were perfect, but it doesn't usually end up that way for us. But no, but I jump better indoors. Yeah.
Okay. So what is your most embarrassing track and field experience?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if it's a performance or something like even more silly. Because I don't know.
You have a long career, so like I'm gonna take some time for you to flip the five.
a little bit. Yeah, I'm not really like I really wasn't. I have to think a little bit. I would say embarrassing. Shoot.
Have you never
I've had some bad.
4x4 or nothing?
I've run the 4x4. That's a really good. That is a really good one. That's a really good one. I ran the 4x4 my freshman year of high school. And I was kind of fast.
Okay.
But I wasn't well trained really. And I came out like the first 300 meters, and I've never run a 400 in my life either. I don't think I've ever run past 100 at that point.
What?
Yeah. And I didn't even really do like much sprint training up to that point too.
Why they put you on?
Because they needed somebody. Yeah, and they were like, you're like pretty quick, so you can probably try it out. It wasn't like the state championship or anything. It was a nothing meet, and then like the last 100 meters, like I couldn't move. I never felt this kind of feeling ever in my entire life. And then I just remember as I'm like walking off the track, I'm getting my first like cramp in my hamstring. I've never felt a cramp ever in my life, and I'm getting a cramp. I'm like freaking out. I don't even know what this is. They're like telling me to straighten out my leg and everything. I'm like,
oh my
God. And like the whole night I had cramps too. And it was like
you don't kind of know what lactic acid, like you don't even really.
At that point, no, not really. I didn't even know like, I thought it was like they were telling me I was gonna hurt, but then I was like, yeah, but that's cool. Like I'm tough. I can fight through pain. Yeah, that's cool. But then I didn't realize my body was gonna like legitimately shut down, and then my legs weren't gonna move, and they were just like, I think I split like 57 seconds for.
57 is crazy.
It was like really that slow. Not like it was genuinely like, no, I couldn't move.
What leg
like,
were you?
I ran the first 300 meters and I actually looked kind of sick. And then like the last 100 meters, I couldn't move.
What leg were you?
They put me on the third leg.
What, did you get it in the first? Did you get it in?
I think.
Did you help?
I actually think, no, I didn't help. I didn't help, but I think I got it in like the second or something. Probably gave it to him in like the fourth, fifth or something.
That's crazy.
Might have been only 14, so actually now that I think about it. Yeah. But no, it was not a great leg. But I would like to give another. I need another crack at it.
Yeah, for sure. You didn't need a little redemption.
Yeah.
You need a little redemption.
I do, yeah.
I agree. Okay, so music. Who you be listening to? What type of music do you like?
I listen to quite a lot of music.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot. Quite a big spread. I would say like mostly hip hop and rap.
Okay.
Especially when I'm in the season.
Okay.
And so.
Give me an artist. Give me somebody who one of your faves.
Yeah, I would say not as much lately, but I would say like the past like few years, probably Young Boy the most out of like the rappers.
Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana. I do listen to like a lot of Louisiana rappers like JD Youngin and Kevin Gates and those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say, as of late, I actually do listen to a little bit of Swedish hip hop too,
Okay.
which is a little bit funky because it's like it doesn't seem like the language is, it's not tailored to hip hop, but they kind of like split it, like half English, half Swedish, like whenever the words are like convenient.
yeah.
But they actually have some stuff that's actually quite nice.
Okay.
But I listen to some drill a little bit, like if it's like meat.
You gotta lock it in.
Get in my zone type of stuff, and then all kind of stuff like alternative rock,
Okay, so speaking of
country music, like anything.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you just open to like a lot of music,
I would say so. No.
but you're a young boy fan for sure.
I like young. I was on it like, I mean, when I went to LSU,
Yeah.
it was kind of hard not to. And when I was in high school in Louisiana, it was like he was also on. I guess he's supposed to be in high school.
Yeah.
I don't think he really finished it or whatever. But he,
Yeah.
exploded, especially like in the Louisiana scene, and then he exploded everywhere. But so it was hard to get away from him, I guess, in a way.
So speaking of young boy, we have seen you gritty on multiple occasions. So I just want to challenge you to like a gritty race. You feel me? Like I just feel like I could really beat you.
As long as it's not like past like, however, as long as there's no lactic involved, then I'm good. Yeah,
That's it, chance.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go do a little gritty race.
that's it.
I have been practicing a little bit, so.
I do like the Jamar Chase gritty where he kind of like,
Oh yeah, you keep it cute.
where he just chills. He doesn't even move really. He doesn't do like the.
So what you finna do? Cause like
I don't know. I guess I have to do more of like the Jay Jettas.
I'm finna stress.
right here.
I'm really finna cook you.
I'm like, because now in my head I'm like all messed up because I'm like, do I want to look swaggy when I'm doing it,
Or do I want to
just go fast?
Or do I want to win?
Yeah.
Okay, what we gonna do? We gonna look swaggy or we gonna like go for it?
So like ish both. You have to
Ish?
kind of like win with grace.
Okay. All right. I'm finna focus on my lane. So somebody could call it for us. Jeff, you gonna call it for us? Yeah.
You gotta pick it up. I'm rolling. And then now it's celebratory one.
Celebrate this.
I'm just chilling.
I got cooked. You know what happened? I couldn't get the flow. I couldn't get my flow together.
Wait, where are you from?
I'm from Texas.
Okay, so that's almost gritty land, but not quite.
Well, good competition, man. Good race.
Nah, you too.
You did your big one.
I needed that.
Clearly, guys, Mondo doesn't lose at anything.
Except 4x4.
It's not 4x4s.
Except 4x4.
Okay,
legs.
so let me give you the proper introduction. World record holder, Olympic champ, world champ, the best pole vaulter we have ever seen. Mondo Duplantis, guys. Clap, 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 clap. So you grew up in Louisiana, a family full of athletes. So were there ever any in-house competitions?
Oh my god, everything. But like in a good way, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I grew up as the youngest brother, youngest of, I have two older brothers, a younger sister, but I think my brothers were also like quite studs at everything. They were like pretty similar to, I mean, I guess everybody's like pretty natural when it came to like sports and everything and whatnot. So like for me, it was a lot of losing when I was younger,
Wow.
which I guess was nice. It made me,
Yeah.
I guess, tough in a way. But like the wins were not easy to come by in the house at all.
Jeez.
When it came to anything, even pole vaulting. I mean, I didn't really. And then the problem is, what actually sucks is I never beat my older brother. Because when I think I was jumping like, we do feet and inches. You like feet and inches?
Yeah. Feet.
And I was jumping like 17 and a half feet, and he was like a 17.9 guy in college. And like right when he stopped, that was the next year when I started to like really jump higher.
yeah.
So like he stopped by the time I actually started to like jump a lot higher too. So I never actually, but that's nice for him, I guess. But I never actually got to beat my older brother.
Wow.
Vaulting. Yeah.
Well, he can hold
so he
that.
still has that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Did
yeah.
you ever win at anything as a kid?
Yeah, I would get my dubs, I think.
You get your dubs?
Yeah.
Okay,
In there. But it was tough though, because when we were playing like football and stuff like that,
They're big.
and they're just bigger than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a little bit tough. But I was quick
Yeah.
as a kid, so I can,
Get a few.
shifty and like I could do my thing a little bit.
Okay.
But I would say like it was not easy to come by. But just like the little things around the house, when you're playing like
yeah.
games, board games, stuff like that,
You
then
can
it's
sneak
just
a
then
little
it's fair
bit.
game. Then it's fair
Yeah.
game, no matter how old you are. Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about the Louisiana culture? Because Louisiana got good food, good music, dancing. Like, what's your favorite thing about the culture?
I think just a relaxed lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the combination of the whole culture of the food and the yeah just the vibe of it. And I think it's sometimes it's maybe it's not always the best place to be 100% of the time, as far as like when you're in season and when you're training and when you're trying to focus and stuff like
hard,
that, because
yeah.
it is such of a party place and a very relaxed type of lifestyle. There's parades and there's parties for everything. They just kind of make it up as they go along, I feel like, almost. But it can be very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And when you live in a town, like any town that revolves around the college and stuff like that, especially if you have what to do with the college, then that's good stuff.
So your mom and your dad coached you as a kid? So who was the hardest on you?
Kind of my mom.
Really?
No, in a way. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think they were both. I think they're both pretty straight up with me. I don't think they were really that tough in that way. But I would say my mom, when she really started, she wasn't as much involved in the very beginning, as far as like the technical side of things. My father's always been like the technical coach for the pole vaulting, and she's always done more the physical side of the physical training. And until I was like 14, 15 years old, I didn't really train. I just would pole vault. And then at that time, I also played baseball and soccer.
Okay.
So I would do all those other things when I wasn't pole vaulting.
Okay.
But so it was mostly my father in the beginning. And then she didn't like to watch me jump that much when I was a kid, because she thought I was too much of like a lunatic, and she thought I would get too mad and I had a bad mouth too, and I would swear and stuff like that when I was jumping.
Wow.
And so she didn't like to watch me. So she didn't usually. That was mostly me and my father in like the very beginning. And then when I got to high school, then it became a duo.
So if you can give like a coach like impression of your mom, what would it give us her impression, her coaching impression? Like what she used to tell you?
I think it'd be more like I'm doing like whatever it may be, some set of like V-sits or something, and has the thing. It's like 10 like for me when I do stuff, I never count reps really.
Okay.
Unless it's like 3 and it's like power cleans and like it's something easy where you can count it like that. But if it's like 10 or 15 or something, like I just black out and I do it until like I might do like 15, I might do like 9, I might do whatever. And then like I go and do the thing. She goes, "I wrote down 9 on the paper." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I really didn't even look." I was like, I really didn't even like think about it, or like I didn't even think about mine. I just saw V-sits. I just did like whatever. Yeah.
Funny.
So I do. Yeah. But she's a little bit more like. But I think it's nice because we're pretty different in that way.
Yeah.
She likes, but she's kind of changed, I guess, because we both changed together. She's a little bit more like to the paper, like whatever the workout is. She grew up like that for sure. When she grew up in Sweden, like whatever is on the workout. Do it exactly how it's written too. And I like to go a little bit more like in like broadness, in the sense of like everything's more like a range.
Okay.
And I think we build the workout more like that now.
Okay.
But I think it's actually a good way to do it. Not if you always do less than the workout, but I'm saying more like sometimes whenever you're feeling really good, you can push certain little aspects a little bit harder if it feels right, and then the other things that don't feel right, then
do the minimum.
back off a little bit. Yeah.
So like maximum minimum type of thing.
Yeah, a little bit of more like everything's in a little bit of a range, depending on how you feel and what do you think you're capable of, to make sure that you can have a good workout the next day as well too.
Okay, so this is wild. So you broke your first world record at 7, and you were signing autographs at 7?
Maybe.
Is that what I read? Like, is that true?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
You been signing like when I read, you signing autographs since you were a kid, like literally since you were a kid.
I guess like in the pole vault bubble, in the pole vault community.
Okay.
Which is a little bit of a smaller niche little community. But I think from a fairly young age, I was kind of like, I was pretty good at pole vaulting, and I was good at pole vaulting from when I was like 7 years old. So I guess Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Is what it is.
That's crazy. So I don't know if you remember, but last year pre-classic is when we first kind of like had our interaction,
Yep.
and at the pole vault landing little pit they had for the fans, and they had you like signing poles. And I don't know if you remember, but I was recording you. You were like, "Stop recording me. This is trash," because like your signature was like that.
But it is tough. But when you're signing a pole, and I've done this actually quite a few times, when you're signing something that's like, it's round, you know, so like to actually get your signature in the way that you want it, like looks, and I already have a trash signature too.
Okay, well let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see if you got a little better from last year.
I hope this pin is like thicker, because when it's thin, I don't know, what do you say, penmanship? It's just, I don't know why it's so bad. It just is so bad. It's just one of these things that I never could dial in, and
That's it right there.
that's it. Mondo. I used to write in print too.
That's it.
I used to write in print. It was like, and now it's like ish cursive, but I never really learned cursive, so it's just like scribble, and it's just Mondo.
Very
Sometimes I put a little pole vaulter.
What? That is not a pole vault.
It's ish. That's a pole vaulter. You really have to zoom in to see, but it's supposed to be a pole vaulter.
I'm weak.
And then my personal best.
Okay.
Yeah.
622.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll keep this forever.
Yeah. You probably just do this in like 10 seconds. Right. Whatever.
Okay, so jumping 19 feet in high school, you feel like that changed your life?
I
Yeah.
would say one of the bigger moments.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would say it was quite a big moment also because my father's PR was 19 feet even. And so I was able to pass him up. That was a big thing. And also, which is probably like a little bit of a fun fact, is that my father, he was actually supposed to be the first person to ever jump 18 feet in high school. And he actually got a little bit screwed because at that time, they had this rule where after you made a jump, they did a remeasure. They would measure the bar afterwards too, to see if it was measured right the first time.
Yeah.
So he jumped 18 feet, and he was the first high schooler to ever jump 18 feet for like 30 seconds. But then they remeasured it, and they measured it like 17, 11 and 3/4 of an inch before. Yeah, so it got rounded. So he had the national high school record for a little period, and then like whatever weeks later,
That's wild.
another guy jumped 18 feet. So he was really supposed to be the first 18-footer ever in high school.
Wow.
So then it was nice, I guess, to I don't know, get what was ours in a way, because
get it back.
because he kind of got screwed.
Yeah, he just
Actually, because the remeasuring rule was
Yes, like he did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild. I'm glad they
know.
got rid of that because like, how's that a thing?
Yeah, and it was always, I mean, and I think every time they would do the remeasure, it was always lower. It was never higher
what I'm
too, and it
saying,
was never gonna only a bad thing, and it's very like anticlimactic way to do it too.
Wow.
Because it's a very cool thing when somebody clears the bar and it's like instant gratification, like boom, let's get fired up because this is a record, and like having to wait for them to measure it again. And it's like, what's the point of this? You already measured it the first time. Yeah, there's no point in this. So
Double check.
So they stopped. Yeah, I know.
What?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they stopped doing it.
That's great.
Thankfully,
That's
yeah.
great. So after that, I read in a documentary, I watched a documentary saying that like, not the fly. First of all, Born to Fly, where can we find that? Because I could not find it. Where is it?
Yeah.
The documentary, Born to Fly.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm actually, I don't know. I don't know actually, because I'm not necessarily the one that's like on the.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, it's more just like about me. I'm not the
Yeah.
one in the side of like distributing and getting it out there. But I would imagine, like, as far as the last that I've heard, like a few weeks ago, it was like close as far as to like getting a deal to like
Oh, okay.
to being everywhere. But I don't know exactly yet. But I would imagine that it would be
Okay, I understand. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
ish soon.
But so in the video, your dad said like after you jump 19 feet, you kind of hit like a low light, like a low point, and I'm like, what's the low point? Because like in the video, it was showing like you losing like diamond leagues. I'm like, okay, well he's in high school, so like, is that really a low point? So like,
Yeah, maybe that's more just like dramatized documentary style stuff. I wouldn't say like it was yeah. Yeah, it was like still, I guess, like in diamond leagues, like high school and stuff like that. So that's like probably not that crazy for me not to like win them all that much. I think the fact that I was in it was pretty nice. But no, I mean, I guess there was like a little bit of a period like 2018, 2019 where like I didn't improve that much.
Okay.
And so like it was the first time ever in my life where I didn't really like have this like crazy improvement, because like up until that point, like every year I get like exponentially better, and I would get a lot better every single year because it was just like easy naturally to do it, I guess, when you're younger.
Yeah.
And then I think at that point there was like, it was a nice little wake up call that I have to do other stuff outside of just like me just relying on my natural talent and abilities to just take me to the higher heights. I kind of have to lock in and like take things for my, do it my own, do it for myself, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So at 18, you won your first like major senior title. Were you nervous about how fast like you were getting big, or like how fast you were like making these like nobody wins like senior titles at 18? Like, you know, like were you nervous about the progression?
No, I think it's just nice.
Nice, yeah. You
I think so.
it? Yeah.
No, I think it's just a good thing.
Yeah.
I would say for the most.
No,
I mean, it
definitely.
depends on how it is. I mean, for me, it was weird though, because right when I won the European Championships, that was in 2018, and then I think I went back to Louisiana that next day, and then I think I was moving into my college dorm within that week.
Yeah.
So it was very like back to reality
Yeah,
type of
right
feeling,
after
because
that.
and I think that was probably pretty nice too, because it was just like right back to whatever, and it was a completely new chapter in my life. It was like going to college, so it was like just doing that thing.
Speaking of college, all your siblings went to LSU?
Everybody.
So it wasn't even a choice? Like, was it really did you take visits?
I didn't take any visits.
You already knew.
No, I didn't take any visits. Yeah, but yeah, I already knew. But I grew up like in Louisiana, and I grew up going to LSU to see my brother jump, and my other brother went to LSU to play baseball and everything like that, and like just being around the culture, and like the whole state of Louisiana basically revolves around LSU too. And so, I mean, I naturally wanted to represent LSU too, and when I had the opportunity to where I could have still my parents coaching me on board too, like having that agreement in that way, then it was like
Why not?
a no-brainer. And it's the best. It's really good facilities too. So it was like,
No questions. Yeah.
But I didn't have a choice, really. No.
Okay, so Sweden versus Team USA. You picked Sweden. Was there any like, because people are sensitive, so was there any like drama or any backlash that came with that, or you just don't care, or you just didn't listen?
Yeah, I would say a little bit. I would say it's a little bit. I would say it's pretty reasonable. I would say. No, I mean, I think it's when it's around Olympic time.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a lot more of a topic. Then it becomes a lot more of a thing, because I think that's when Americans actually watch track, and I don't think they're really as tuned in to everything that's going on until it is the Olympics time. And I think that's usually when it's the most like focused on the fact that I am also American and don't compete for the United States. But no, I mean, I made the decision. I don't really regret it, and it's worked out better than even my wildest imaginations thought that everything could have happened.
I love that.
And so no, it's I
It is what it is.
I know
Yeah.
it is what it is basically.
So I saw this tweet about Michael Cherry saying that you have the record for the fastest person to sign pro after nationals. And you signed Takuma. So how did it happen? You signed the night of? How did it happen?
No, not the night of, but I think maybe one day after, 2 days after. Yeah, it was. I think I did. We had our last. It was in Austin. Was the NCAA championships. Then I flew to Stockholm that next day, I guess.
Wow.
To do it. I don't know. Maybe I guess it's okay now. NIL stuff. You can talk about it, but maybe at the time I don't know how it was with the rules with the NCAA. But I knew that I knew that it was gonna happen already after. So I guess if I was
Yeah. So world record. You have the indoor, the outdoor. Is there any motivation, or is it motivating or like complicated to know that like for me to PR, it's gonna be a world record?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I can just think about it in a way of that it's not really a world record, it's just a PR.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
And I think that's the way that keeps it feeling very attainable and very, I mean, it's something that I've like basically done before, just a tiny bit higher. So it's like, that's what I'm capable of. And that's the kind of jumper that I am. So I think that if I try not to make it bigger than it really is, and I just know that I'm here for a reason, I am supposed to be jumping these kind of heights. And I think that then mentally I'm in a good place for it to work out rather than just like think about it as like world record.
Yeah. I think that's definitely
Yeah, I think it's the best way to do it.
yeah, for sure. So at 23 years old, you are the best pole vaulter that we have ever seen. Like, how does it feel just hearing that? People say that.
It's nice. It's nice. I'm yeah.
How you stay hungry?
You just I think there's a lot more for me to do, but I think that also I think that it's a I would be lying if I would say that it's the same type of hunger. I would say I'm still very hungry, but it's a very different thing. It's a very different thing, like staying on top rather than trying to climb your way to the top and trying to attain all these titles and everything like that. Because now at this point, I have genuinely won everything that there is to win as a track and field athlete. So now it's a weird thing. I'm going on my second go around of everything. So now I'm the defending champion at all the things that I go to, and it's a new thing having to navigate. And I like it, and I think that keeping your title and keeping your place as the best in the world and showing that you're deserving of it and you are a favorite for a reason. You have to show up to the meet as, I think that's, it's even more motivating almost in a way. It's like more pressure because then you want to you're supposed to perform well. So then you kind of you have to go out there and just do it.
I agree. So what's your favorite thing about pole vault? If you can pick one thing.
That I'm good at it.
That I can win.
I think that was probably one of my biggest draws to it at an early age, is that I was always quite a bit of a natural at it. And I think that being good at something is super cool.
Yeah.
It's a super cool thing.
Yeah.
And it is just a very beautiful event. And it's so complicated and it's so technical and it's so tough to really perform and time up a really, really good jump. And then when you're able to do it, it is such a beautiful, effortless flow of things. And I would say that when I'm really jumping well and everything's flowing in such a nice way, it's such a cool feeling of being in control of your body and control of everything. Because I know that I'm never going to be even close to as good as anything ever in life as I am at pole vaulting. And I'm never going to have that type of confidence and control of anything that I'm doing like I do have when I am pole vaulting, when I'm pole vaulting at a high level. So I have to enjoy the moment while I can.
Definitely.
Because I think after this, I'm not gonna. It won't be the same as it is for this. So I think just the whole thing really.
So my favorite part is the fall.
Cause that's nice.
I love the fall.
You
I
jump?
love to see people. No, I love to, no, absolutely not. I
Just
love
to watch the fall.
People,
That's nice.
celebrate.
Yeah, because you have a little time in the air to do it.
So that's what I'm thinking.
That's
so
cool.
is there any way you can get creative with it with the fall? Maybe do a pose when you're falling down or
I actually really haven't done anything that crazy. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think Renault one time, I think it was the World Indoor Championships in Portland. I think this might have been 2016. It was that he ended up winning. I think on the way down, he did something like this, kind of shrugged his shoulders this is easy on the way down, and that was pretty raw. That was pretty cold. Yeah, that was one of the cockier things I've seen on the way down. But I don't know, sometimes a little point in the air or something like that. I used to do that. I don't think I've really done that in a while. I think it's more just
what about
natural. Could probably do it.
heart?
But the heart's kind of hard to because you have to come
put
together.
your hands together?
You have to that would actually be a little bit difficult. Probably could do that. Yeah, that would be easy. That would be easy. Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. That would be hard. But maybe not. No, I think that would be really hard actually. Yeah, because you're falling down. So then you just look like you're just out of control. Yeah, your body's just out of control. No, but
I'm gonna keep thinking. I'm gonna think of something good. That's
stuff.
simple. So I can give it to you and then you can.
So then you could overcomplicate my brain and I could be all messed up and not think about the actual jump, and then I would just be thinking about giving deuces
I'm gonna get in trouble.
while I'm on the way down after a miss. The bar's coming down with me and I'm sitting there like this.
Your dad gonna cuss me out?
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Okay, so through all success, it always comes from adversity. So in these interviews, I always want to know what is some adversity that you had to face and how did you get through it? Or have you faced adversity?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I would say that, I think that the transition from high school to college was, and then from college to professional, definitely, I would say more the college to professional was quite a big change and something that really like woke me up in a way that I think that was really good. And I think that that year in college, I pretty much came up short in everything that I wanted to do that year. And because like I had like the biggest goals in my mind, it was of course, the NCAA championships, and I got second place in that. And then they had the Diamond League final, and I got second place in that. And then they had the World Championships in Doha, and I came second in that. And it was all really close competitions that I think that I could have won.
Yeah.
And so that's stung a little bit, and especially the NCAA one, because I knew that was my last competition for LSU.
Yeah.
And to not be able to end on a win, and I'm always going to be able to, never going to be able to have redemption, and I'm never going to be able to get that title for LSU and for myself and for my family and everything around me, because that meant so much. That a little bit tough.
Yeah.
That's a little bit tough. That's a little bit of a
facts.
sour taste in my mouth, but it was in a weird way like the best thing that could ever happen, because in 2020 I had probably the best season that I've ever had. That indoor season, I ended up breaking the record twice and everything that I came into that whole fall training before 2020 with so much fire. And so I think that all those competitions and those like really just tough, close losses and just not really quite being where I thought I should be, I guess. Or I knew I was in a position where I think I could have won it, but I think it woke me up in the way of like next year I want to just be so good that there is no close calls or anything. I just want to be up in a different league, and I was kind of able to do that. So I think that's I guess that whole year was quite a.
That's tough though. That's tough. That's because I can understand that it's probably a lot of like expectation for you to get that goal for LSU, like your whole family up there, like so I can understand how that's like.
Yeah, and I was like, I guess the whole year I hadn't lost, and I had a really good year up to that point too.
Wow.
And so that's tough. But I mean, losses are nice, and they can be good in a weird way. In the moment, they feel shitty, and it's not anything that you want to experience, but you really do. It's like, it's a very cliche thing, but it is a very true thing. Is that those losses? I mean, that's really where you learn everything from that, and then you learn how to not do that again, and how to improve from that, and reroute and do everything different to make sure that you're not in that situation again.
What kept you motivated during that time?
I think I was just so hungry.
Yeah.
I think I just had this like fire in me. I think I hated coming up short, and I hated losing, and I hated not being the best. And to have the whole year where I just come up short in every little thing that I wanted to do, I think it was such a nice thing, because I just, for the first time in my career, I think I was going into a year where I wasn't this big favorite, in the sense of that I was losing these competitions and I was losing these big ones, and so I was going into the next year with a lot of something to prove, and a lot of hunger, and that's a nice, if you can use it to your advantage, it's a really nice thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into a little bit of stuff off the track. So I heard that you were like the LeBron of Switzerland. Like, you gotta walk around with Sweden. Sorry, Switzerland. Thinking about Zurich.
But that is like the most common. That's like, I get that like once every day probably.
For real?
When I'm in the United States. Yeah. When I'm in the U.S.
Those Americans.
Yeah, though. Yeah.
So and so like, you're like the LeBron in like Sweden. Like, you have to walk around with like security.
I don't know about security, but it just depends.
Okay.
It just depends on like what the setting is, but yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Wow.
It's a little bit weird. Yeah.
That's interesting. So do you have any like crazy experiences or like crazy fan experiences?
Oh, crazy fan experience. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a weird one, but I think mostly it's just like, I think it's just more the weird of the fact of going to places and almost everybody in every environment that you're in knows me. Yeah, and I think also the really weirdest thing about it is when there's so many people that are in touch with my schedule too, and they know. No, not like what I do like on a daily basis. No, not like that. No, more like
They know when you're in.
no, like my competitions and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
No, on my last competition, and like I'll just go and like I'll be at like a cafe, and then this guy will come talk to me. He's like about my last meet, like in Brussels or whatever it may be. And that's more like a cool thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like,
So they
yeah,
follow
sure.
you.
Yeah, they like really, yeah, it's really,
invested.
really invested. Yeah. So like have some, and that's a funny thing. Cause I mean, I go back to Louisiana and of course there's people that it's more like, I'm more this like urban myth in a way. Like they don't really understand. They like, there's definitely people that know me and I would say like they know of me, but they don't really understand the whole thing.
Okay.
And they just know that like I pole vault and that I'm good at it and like the best or whatever it may be, but they don't really know when I jump or how, they don't know the whole ins and outs of everything that's going on. And it's yeah, a little bit different in Sweden.
Interesting. So like Sweden, they know they're invested. They know.
Yeah, they're locked in. Yeah.
Louisiana, they're more like, is it really him?
Yeah, no, but it's more like not even really him. It's like, oh, he's like the guy that does that thing that's good at that
pole.
thing with the pole. Yeah, it's more like they know but they don't know. It's more like yeah, it's more like that. I would
Okay.
say like the one that won the Olympics. Yeah, because I think what was it? I don't exactly remember where it was. I think it was like doctor's office or like something, maybe like dentist or like something like that. I remember it was like this. I think this is a pretty good depiction of like like being in Louisiana, like being in the United States compared. And he was like saying something and then asking me about pole vaulting, blah blah. He's like, yeah, you've been doing really good, huh? And then I was like, yes. And I was like, yeah, I actually broke the world record. He's like, no, well, nice, super cool. And what's next? Blah blah blah. World championships. And it's like, yeah, I actually already won one. He's like, oh, cool. He's like, and you have the Olympics coming up? And I was like, yeah, I think that's like in a few years, but I did actually win last one. And he's like, get out of it. And he's like, get out of here. And I was like, yeah, but what about the other things I said? And like nothing, the only thing that registered in his brain is that I won the Olympics. Then he was like, are you kidding? He was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, yeah, but I said I had the world record. And that's like maybe even big, yeah, maybe even better. But like it's always like Olympics is, the thing. So I would say it's more like that. It's more like those kind of little things where like they know but like don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, at all.
So is there anything in Sweden that you want to do that you haven't done yet?
In Sweden?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I would say like, no, I would say like I'm in a pretty good place right now. Yeah, I don't.
Because you met with like is it Prime Minister?
I don't know the prince.
Prince, yeah,
I guess like
Prince.
the royal family.
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
something like that. I
Like
think
that. Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that. They have like events and stuff like that.
You've done a
Whatever.
lot. You've
That's
done
a lot. Like in Sweden, I've ticked off most of the boxes.
Okay.
I would say.
What's left? Do you have a box that's left that you haven't checked off?
I don't know. I mean, as far as like that stuff in like that kind of way, like accolades, I would say like ish I've done the stuff. So I don't really think I'm not that concerned about. No, I don't know. Just like whatever the path I'm on right now, I'd say like just
you're not really
keep
like
doing that. No, I'm not really
particular.
No, not really. I mean, as long as like if I'm jumping well, I'm jumping high, I'm winning the important meets, the ones that count, then whatever happens after that is just it'll fall into place.
For sure. Okay, so two more things. So one, is there anything that you want to share with the fans or people who are watching that they might not know or that you want them to know?
I'm like the worst at this question every single time.
Really? Okay,
I'm the worst.
You can just give a message to the people who support you.
That's a different question. That's easier. That's easier. I really appreciate it a lot. I really appreciate it a lot, and I think that for me, I am a pole vaulter at heart, and I know that I do have a lot of love for track and field as a whole, but especially the pole vault community in particular. That's the ones that I think I want to give a really big shout out to, because I think that it is a little bit of a different branch of track, but it is its own thing in a way. There's track, field, and then there's like pole vault, because pole vault is this such unique, exotic little event and little community that we have. So that's the people that I would really like to give the biggest shout out, because I think I get the most support also from them. So no, but I guess everybody as a whole, I mean, I thank everybody for watching me and everybody for supporting me. And I hope that I can just keep jumping high and doing cool things that I can entertain y'all.
Most definitely. And then the final thing, I like to end my interviews with like a piece of advice that you can give to people that kind of helps you get into the position that you're in.
Find what you love. Find what you love to do, because I think if you don't really love whatever you're doing, then you're not going to get very far in it. And you can try to force things or do things for other people, but it's not really a long-term solution. And you have to do something that you want to do. You have to do something that you love, and I think it's the only way to, really go far in anything. And especially if you want to, if it's something that you have really big goals with, and you want to do something at a very, very high level, you have to like it and you have to love it, because to do the other stuff that's not as fun, to make sure that you get the end goal, like all the training and all the other stuff that you don't like to do, and all the discipline that you have to become the best. If you don't really love the competing, and you don't love the real sport that you're doing, then it's going to be hard to I don't know, hard to do it, I guess.
Yeah. Hard to succeed.
Yeah. And just, hard for it to, it's not sustainable, really.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So just find whatever you love to do and dive deep into it. And just,
Definitely. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Absolutely.
Like, it was lit. I appreciate you. You got
yeah.
a nice dub. You feel me? I gotta get you a prize or something for winning, but
And you just get my shitty signature. So that's great.
Okay, well,
Great trade-off.
definitely. Okay, so you want to do the sign off for me?
Sure. But what is that? Is real talk with
T.
Yeah, T. Just
with
T.
yeah.
Okay.
So you could just say real athletes, real stories. This was real talk with T.
Real athletes, real stories. This is real talk with T.
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you so much.
One take.